Hello, true duelists. My name is Craig Fee, and as always, welcome to the Yu-Gi-Oh! Update. A happy Canada Day to all the Canadians who may or may not exist. They continue to elude us to this day. And later this week, a happy that one movie where the White House blew up day to our American viewers. Terrible news for society, however great news for furries, I suppose, as Darkwing Blast has revealed two new monsters for hire. Rex, Cargo Fur Hire, who is a baby dinosaur. Oh, fuck. Do not tell Overraptor. Statistically speaking, if there is a baby dinosaur in Yu-Gi-Oh!, that motherfucker is going to explode. And this one will too. Explode onto the scene of Fur Hire deck lists. If this little guy is normal or special summoned, it can add a spell or trap Fur Hire from deck to hand. And during the main phase, as a quick effect, it can banish itself to target a card Fur Hire in your grave and add it to your hand, or if you've targeted a monster, it can special summon it instead. Both great and both once per turn, a Fur Hire staple. The other card is Donna, Dagger for Hire, a link 2 with some solid arrows, needing any two monsters with different types. A true abomination with the face of a dog and hands the size of its head. I do not know what this is physically, some kind of dog thing, but practically, I can tell you that it can target one monster for hire you control and a monster the opponent controls to pop them both. And it can tribute a monster to summon a monster for hire with a different name from your hand or grave. And if you've tributed a link monster to activate that effect, it can summon a second monster as well. It's great that both effects can use itself, both for tributing for summoning and as the Scrap Dragon effect, and it serves as an alternative to Nightmare Cerberus, one without the need for a discard and being able to target normal summoned cards or cards in the extra monster zone. It will need to clear itself in generic decks though, so that is something to consider, as well as the lack of a potential draw that Cerberus will offer. Most importantly, we'll be having to deal with cyberbullying in real life for having a furry card in your deck. That has never stopped any of us before. Hell, I have a whole video about Fur Hire, but if that joke does catch on, then you know Yu-Gi-Oh! Players will never ever let it go. Ever. We also got a new archetype from Darkwing Blast as well. Bryssted. Are they busted? No, they're Bryssted. I just said. Whole bunch of weird looking dragon dudes who are tied into the unending Albaz or branded lore or whatever the hell's going on with that series of cards. They've got 3 level 6 monsters in the deck that are all level 6 dark attribute dragon type monsters with 2500 attack and 2000 defense that can all target and banish either a light or dark monster from either player's grave to special summon themselves from the hand. And just because that's not good enough, it becomes a quick effect if the opponent controls a monster. An archetype with just 3 DD Crows to play on the opponent's turn. Why the fuck not? Magnamut, if special summoned, will add any dragon monster from deck or grave to hand during the end phase, and is also wearing some cool-ass Nintendo Power Gloves. Serenir is your foolish burial target, sending any Bryssted monster except a copy of itself or any branded spell or trap from your deck to the grave. Not much to say on this one, but he does have a beard. And Druid Worm can target one special summon monster the opponent controls and send it to the grave if it itself is sent from field to graveyard. That's decent. The Bryssted Lubellion is their level 8 that cannot be normal summoned or set and must be special summoned from your hand or grave by tributing a level 6 or higher dark dragon, and can only be summoned once per turn that way. Its effect on field lets you place a branded continuous spell or trap from your deck face up onto your field, and in the hand it can be sent from your hand to grave to add any Bryssted monster from deck to hand except for a copy of itself. And since it can summon itself from the grave, it's almost always going to be discarded. The Bryssted Alba Loss is a level 12 with 3500 attack and defense that also cannot be normal summoned or set, instead needing you to tribute 2 Bryssted monsters to special summon it. Its first effect is that super fun one, where it negates the effects of all Ritual, Fusion, Synchro, Xyz, and Link monsters on the field. and if while face up, it leaves the field from an opponent's effect, you can banish all face down cards in each player's extra deck face up until the opponent's next end phase. So it really hates the extra deck. Cool, don't have enough of that going around. This is proof, however, that Konami does like pendulums, because this does nothing to pendulum monsters specifically. They have 2 pieces of spell and trap support, both continuous ones for Lubellion. Rebranded will trigger once per turn if you banish a light or a dark monster, targeting the banished monster to place it on the bottom of the deck and draw a card. And once per turn and once per chain, if the opponent normal summon or special summons a monster, you can target a Bryssted monster in your grave and special summon it. If that sounds a little confusing, it is a soft once per turn, and while I'm only showing you 1 copy of the card here, the opponent could in fact control 3. Oh my. Branded Beast is the trap card, and once per turn during your main phase, if you control a Bryssted monster, it lets you tribute a dragon to target and destroy 1 card the opponent controls. Spot removal! And during the end phase, you can target a branded continuous spell or trap in your grave and place it face up on your field. Neat. Get 2 of those spell cards going. Or don't play this. All in all, while this appears to be solid branded adjacent support, truly what we are looking at is a 3 of level 6 quick effect self-summoning DD Crow for Dragon Link that adds any dragon they need while also being perfectly leveled for Rocket Tracer to make Barone with. Dragons never die, friends, and I for one potentially welcome our new overlords. And by new I mean old, because Dragon Link. Mind you, it will have to compete with other meta threats, and it seems that even with the hits to Splite and Tier Elements being an insane deck over in OCG land, they aren't quite the Tier 0 like Splite was for a minute there. Splite, Tier Elements, Shangri-La, and now these make for 4 very strong and capable decks, it would seem, and I can't wait for Konami to massacre the current decks to help push the new ones. I'm kidding, of course, please do not do that. Let this meta go the way of Bujin, as they did in 2014. Power corrupt into irrelevancy immediately, and that way I can still play the decks I paid money for and not have to worry about being called a meta sheep. Because seriously, even with 3 of everything, I don't think Sword Soul's keeping up against Splite and the gang. In lighter news, another token has been revealed. And once again, it is not an Adventurer or Sword Soul token. This time instead it's for G-Golems, an archetype I had literally forgotten about until I saw this token. The moral of the story is, if you are a Sword Soul player or an Adventurer player and would like an official Konami token, fuck you. In merch news, a new playmat has been revealed to be obtained at Anime Expo 2022 from July 1st to July 4th. Whether you can get it at the expo or buy it secondhand, this offers players a chance to summon access code on top of their access code, giving all decks an easy way to attack for game by the arduous and difficult task of summoning 4 monsters. What a deserved win access code gives us all. In community news, I don't really have a progression meme this week. Chaos vs Dragons, Gage vs Simo, Gage won! The score is now 12-11 for Simo, meaning they're almost tied again. Yeah, something, Simo mind gaming himself, something, Gage being extraordinarily cocky for a guy coming off an 8-week losing streak, something, go ahead and laugh there. Not much else to say in this segment, not gonna lie. I do not care to report on drama in general, and even if I didn't see any to report on this week. So, against all odds, Twitter was pretty chill. At this point, I think I'm just wasting time. So let's get to what's good. I started playing the Digimon TCG, kinda. One buddy has a deck. I've got 6. As you may or may not know, I have a serious problem. Might make a random video on that this week, actually. Who knows? I get bored sometimes. Either way, that's all I got. So let's wrap it up for this week's update. As always, I'm your host, Craig Fee, and make sure you subscribe to YGO Strats for next week's update, and so that you too can be a true duelist.